One of the big topics of conversation, particularly surrounding the Disney and Fox deal ever since it was announced, was what's going to happen with Deadpool? And there's been a lot of back and forth. Some people thought that Deadpool would be rated PG. Some people thought it would be rated R. Some people thought Deadpool would be brought into the MCU. Some people thought it might be kept outside of the MCU. Now, I've been very clear. My personal preference here is to make him rated R and keep him outside of the MCU. That's my preference. I think he would do much better outside the MCU. That's just me, keep it rated R, because I have my doubts that Lord Bob Iger is going to allow Deadpool to be in the MCU and have R-rated material. He's talked about that openly before, so I have my doubts. But, there's been a lot of talk and everything. Well, the two writers of Deadpool who work with Ryan Reynolds on a lot of different movies, but they're the Deadpool writers, Rhett, Reese, and Paul Wernick. They were recently interviewed, and the whole topic of Deadpool came up and about what his future is. And they clarified where things are at right now, which still leaves things a little bit blurry. Here's what Paul Wernick said. He's one of the two writers. He said this: I think the party line and the truth is we're still trying to figure it out. Marvel has promised to continue to let us play in the R-rated Deadpool universe. Okay, so it sounds like Deadpool's going to be rated R. And the hope is that they will also let us veer into the MCU a little bit as well and play in that sandbox. Our feeling and Ryan's feeling is that it's got to be the right idea. It's got to be great. I think once we collectively agree what that idea and great idea is, we'll be off to the races. Ryan's super busy. We've got a lot of projects lined up, but we wake up thinking about Deadpool and we go to sleep thinking about Deadpool. And that, of course, is from one of the Deadpool writers, Paul Wernick. I had Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese in my studio once. Mm-hmm. They're wonderful dudes. Yeah. A lot of fun to talk to. But he basically says where I think things are going to go, but I don't know. Number one, Marvel has assured them they will let Deadpool be rated R. That's consistent, by the way, with what Bob Iger had said previously. He said, I don't see, as long as we keep brands separated, I don't see why we can't let people be rated R. So apparently that is what they have assured the Deadpool writers. Deadpool's going to be allowed to be rated R. But what is still up in the air is about whether or not he's going to be in the MCU. Because he says, we've been promised this, and we hope they'll let us play a little bit in the MCU, Sam. So it sounds like that's still up in the air. It really does sound like they haven't made any firm decisions yet about Deadpool and what they're going to do with them and all that kind of stuff. So hearing that sounds just pretty consistent with what we've been hearing so far. Rob, I'm still the guy who hopes, number one, they keep him rated R, and number two, keep him out of the MCU. It'll just be cleaner. You give him a lot more freedom. He can do a lot more stuff if he's separate from the MCU. That's my thought. Other people disagree, which is cool. Where are you on this, and what do you make of Paul Wernick's comments?
Well, I've quite enjoyed the Deadpool movies, both of them. Upon further reflection, I like Deadpool more the more I've seen Deadpool 2 more that I've seen it.
I love Deadpool 2.
Yeah, and look, I don't know if they should cross the streams into the MCU with Deadpool unless they have a really good idea, because I think part of the appeal of Deadpool is that they do break the fourth wall, and like you pointed out, even the X-Men that they've depicted, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus, that it's kind of their own thing. And I like that. I mean, the way they crossed over with all the X-Men characters in the last movie when they opened a door and they were all there, that I could see. But I don't know if I want to have that sort of anarchy brought into the MCU. But then again, if you're making a movie called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, there's a way, something like that. I could see Deadpool crossing over in that way, like a Scarlet Witch, WandaVision way or something. It could be, I leave it up to them. I think with the writers, they'll come up with something great. I like hearing that they say that we need an idea that's great. They're thinking about, they don't just need cash in. They're like, look, we know that we have to have a good story with our great characters before we worry about the MCU or any of that stuff. And that's what I love to hear.
Right. And it's going to be interesting to see where Marvel lets them go.
Right.
At this point. Question is, guys, what do you make of the Deadpool writers' comments, and what do you kind of hope they end up with? It might be the same as mine, might be the opposite of mine. Maybe you want him PG-13 in the MCU. Maybe you want him R in the MCU. Maybe you want him in the MCU and maybe rated G. I don't know. Whatever you guys think. Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.